Good evening, everyone. My name is Sydney Gunter, and welcome to our Summer Learning 2020 Parent Orientation for our Summer Camp at Home program.
Buenas noches a todos, mi nombre es Sydney Gunter, bienvenido a las puertas abiertas virtuales del campamento de verano.
Is there anyone on the call who may need Spanish translation services?
¿Hay alguien en la llamada con nosotros que necesita servicios de interpretación a español? Por favor, déjenos saber ahorita. No.
No?
No.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, my name is Sydney Gunter, and I am the Academic Response to Intervention Coordinator for the Office of Academic Programs and Supports in RPS. And what those long words and that fancy title simply means is that I'm part of a team that coordinates many things in RPS to include summer school. So welcome to Summer Camp at Home. This is our first venture into virtual summer school. So we are really excited to be partnering with you and your students to have our first virtual ever endeavor in RPS. I want to acknowledge our partners that we will also be working with this summer. If you signed your student up for the Power Scholars Academy last summer, you may remember the YMCA was our partner. So we will again be working with the YMCA for our teaching partners and for our enrichment activities. We're going to be using the Bell Excel curriculum for reading and math. And we will be also working with Next Up. And Next Up is one of our enrichment providers normally during the school year, but they will also work with us this summer as they did last summer to provide some fun enrichment activities for the students. So Summer Camp at Home, again, is all virtual. It is June 29th through July 31st, and there's no class on July 3rd or July 6th. And this is to observe the 4th of July holiday. Classes are Monday through Thursday for academics and enrichment, and Friday, students will attend virtual field trips. So that's really exciting for our students. Summer Camp at Home is a synchronous learning platform. So if your student participated in the at-home lessons that have been posted since March, those are asynchronous lessons, which means the students can download the information and work on the lessons at any time. But synchronous learning means that there will be a teacher who's actually face-to-face with the students, much like you and I are right now. So there will be a daily schedule that students must follow as they interface with their teachers. You can see that there will be a 2 to 25 to 30 ratio, with there being 2 teachers in the classroom, an RPS teacher and a YMCA teaching assistant, along with the students in the virtual face-to-face classroom. This summer, we have weekly themes for our camp. So students are going to receive a pretty extensive summer camp kit that has a lot of good stuff in it. But our themes are RPS Strong, RPS Calm, RPS Active, RPS Loud, and RPS Creates. So each of these weekly themes will be reflected in the students' virtual classrooms, but again, they will receive lots of fun activities that correspond to these themes. As part of the camp kit that was explained in your welcome letter, students are going to receive academic materials. They're going to receive literacy materials as well as math materials. And the picture at the bottom is just a sample of a K-2 Scholar kit. So you can see it's an extensive amount of academic materials for literacy and math, to include consumable workbooks, which are workbooks that the students can write in that they will need to participate in activities, as well as readers. There are lots of books included in the kits for literacy and math books as well too, magazines, a family guide, and a basic supply kit. Students will also receive in their camp kits activities that correspond to the weekly theme. So I want to pause for a minute because I want to show you what that's going to look like when you come pick it up. So here's the box that you will receive when you come pick up your camp kit. Oops. You see how big it is. I'm having trouble with it now, but you see how large it is. This box will contain all of the fun things that students will receive for camp. So if you're picking up multiple kits for your students, please be sure you have enough space in your vehicle to fit several boxes that are that size. Contained in that boxes are not only academic materials, but they'll include things like games. So we have some activities students can do with their families, such as family charades, the boxes also include things like balls and jump ropes and bubbles for the students to use with the weekly themes. They will get a bag that has their basics kit, and that'll contain things like scissors and glue and crayons for the students to use as they do their activities. And the students will get 5 bags that go along with each weekly theme. So this bag, for example, has colored pencils and some stress balls in it for the RPS Calm. This has watercolor paint as well as modeling clay for students. So students will get 5 of these bags with these activities. So parents, please be mindful as you're picking up the kits to have enough space to fit a box that size in your car. So as I mentioned, summer camp at home is a synchronous environment, meaning there will be a teacher who's face-to-face with your students via Google Meet every day. So there is a daily schedule that students will follow who participate in the class. So if you have a pre-K student, pre-K students will use a virtual playground curriculum. And there are going to be 2 pre-K groups. Group 1 begins at 9 a.m. and group 2 begins at 10:15 a.m. And you'll receive a separate communication from our pre-K team to let you know which group you're in. This is so we can divide our pre-K classes into smaller segments for our younger students. All pre-K students will participate in enrichment from 9:45 to 10:15 a.m. And during that 9:45 to 10:15 a.m. block, the teachers will also actually reach out to you as parents via email or via call just to engage you to see if you are having any tech issues or if you need additional support with the summer camp at home curriculum. So during that block of time, if you're a pre-K parent, be on the lookout for those communications from your summer teachers. Kindergarten through 2nd grade students will actually begin their day at 9 a.m. and end at 11:30 a.m. And you'll see it's literacy and math instruction, but it also includes fun activities that will be facilitated by our YMCA teaching assistants to include wellness warm-ups, brain breaks, and wellness virtual enrichment. So these are movement activities. We don't simply want students to stare at a screen for 2 hours. We want them to get up and get moving and do fun things. A lot of the Google virtual classrooms are very engaging. They're colorful, and the teachers have created lots of fun activities for the students to participate in. So we hope that this is a really engaging experience for students. From 11:30 to 12 o'clock, those kindergarten through 2nd grade teachers will also do their family engagement piece where they will call or email to check in with you. And from 1 to 3:30, K through 2 students will have the opportunity to select 2 virtual enrichment activities in 2 separate blocks. So there will be different virtual enrichment activities they can join for each day, and they'll be able to choose which activity they would like to do. The 3rd through the 8th grade schedule looks very similar to the K2 schedule, but it is a little longer. So their day begins at 9 o'clock and ends at 12:20. And at 12:20, that family engagement piece will begin for our 3rd through 8th grade students. 3rd through 5th grade students will actually be able to engage in the YMCA virtual enrichment from 1 to 3:30 as well, and they will have 2 blocks they can choose from for virtual enrichment. But our 6th through 8th grade students will actually participate in enrichment using the Next Up virtual platform. So Next Up has been doing virtual enrichment for us throughout the school closure, and it's gone really well. The students are having a great time with all kinds of movement activities and outdoor activities. And so the 6th through 8th grade students will receive further information from their teachers, and you will also receive information on how to sign up for that Next Up virtual enrichment platform to participate in their program. Virtual enrichment is meant to be really engaging for our students. So there are classes like culinary excitement, yoga, Latin, salsa, and hip hop dancing, video and filmmaking. So these are classes students will be able to choose from and join in the evenings. And again, you will receive information about how to sign up for those classes, but the students' teachers will also share that information with them during class, during the first week of school. And on Fridays, students will experience virtual field trips. So K through fifth graders will take virtual field trips to places around the world. But if you're in the sixth through eighth grade, your virtual field trip actually will be participation in the Capital One Coders Camp. So students will be learning some basic coding skills this summer. If you have a student who receives exceptional education or ESL services, we do have teachers who will be joining those virtual classrooms to provide that support to students. Those teachers may front load some information to students and pull them into a separate classroom. Those teachers may also make contact with you to provide support as needed for exceptional education and ESL services. And if you are the parent of an English language learner, we do have a virtual newcomer academy for students with an English language proficiency of level 1. And these courses are taught by bilingual teachers who will modify the material so that our newcomer students can access the curriculum. If you have a student that has extended school year services as dictated by their IEP, those students actually should have been contacted by their ESY teacher already, and they will be using a platform called Plugin. ESY students will have one-on-one sessions with their teachers, and they should have created a schedule with you ahead of time. The ESY students also had the opportunity to register for the Summer Camp at Home program. So if you did register and you're the parent of an ESY student, you would have received information about where to pick up your kit, and your teacher is going to integrate the ESY curriculum as well as the Summer Camp at Home curriculum for your students. Your students will also have the opportunity to participate in the virtual enrichment activities that take place in the evenings. If your student is a rising fifth grader who's going to Martin Luther King Middle School or Henderson Middle School and is a part of the STEM Academy, those students will participate in the same summer camp at home activities, but they will actually have additional STEM activities. So they will participate in a morning STEM meeting, as well as have enrichments that are specifically geared for the STEM students. So I think the STEM Academy students are actually having a virtual open house tomorrow morning to further clarify what that program will look like. But please be on the lookout for a communication from the STEM program managers about the STEM Academy additions to the program. So if you are doing summer camp at home on a mobile device, such as a laptop or a tablet, these are the platforms we will use. So you will have to download these apps. So you will need Google Classroom, Google Meet, and for middle school students, Edmodo and Zoom. If you're using your RPS issued device, the Google Classroom tab will actually automatically pop up when your student logs into the device. So you will just have to click on that tab to access the Google Classrooms. Once you click on the Google Classroom tab, the screen should look like this, and students will see the classrooms that they have been invited to, and they have to accept the invitation to those classrooms. So you may have to work with your student the first few days to make sure they accept all of their classes for summer camp at home. Instructions for accessing Google Classroom are in the welcome letter. There's a way to access it on an RPS Chromebook and a way to access it on a personal device. Once students do click on the Google Classroom, it looks sort of like this. There's sort of a welcome banner at the top, but if you look down, there is actually a stream of information. So that's where teachers will post announcements, teachers will post classwork, but the most important thing that you will see in that stream is you should see a daily link to join the Google Meet, which is the virtual classroom where students will be face-to-face with teachers. Once you click the link, the Google Meet kind of looks like this. So you'll see a button that says join now. You'll have to click that green button to join the virtual meeting. And you'll also see on the screen a little microphone and a little camera, and that's how you turn your microphone off and turn your camera on and off. In your welcome letter, you should have also received information about students taking the STAR assessment. So the very first 2 days of school, students will be expected to complete what's called a STAR assessment. It's just a short test, and it provides us with data about how we can further support your students. And it also helps us to measure progress from the beginning of the program to the end of the program. So you will be receiving information in your parent newsletter, and students will also be receiving information as well as their password the first few days of school to log into that STAR assessment to take that test. Students must take that test before they pick up their camp kit. So parent contact is really important, of course. So there are several ways we will be reaching out to you. You are going to receive a weekly summer camp at home newsletter delivered to the same email address that you received your welcome letter to. You also may receive an invitation to join the student's Google Classroom as a guardian. And what this means is you will be able to receive weekly summaries of what your student has been doing in their virtual classroom. So be on the lookout for an email from your student's teacher to join as a guardian. In addition, you'll receive that weekly teacher and parent communication via phone call and email from the teachers and the YMCA teacher assistants. Students are expected to follow the RPS Student Code of Responsible Ethics, even in this virtual environment. So teachers will reserve the right to dismiss students from virtual classes if there are any behavior infractions happening. The teachers have the ability to mute and dismiss students as necessary. And if repeated infractions occur for students, then the summer school administrator will contact families and let them know if they will be dismissed from the summer program. Here are some contact email addresses. So the general summer camp email address is summerschool@rvaschools.net, where you can direct any general summer school questions. If you have an RPS issued Chromebook or hotspot, helpdesk@rvaschools.net is the email address that you would contact to get tech support for those devices. And our summer school admin team is composed of Ms. Angela Wright and Ms. Lee Young. So we will make sure that this PowerPoint presentation is included in your first weekly newsletter so that you have access to this contact information should you have any questions about summer camp at home.